Real quick, I wanted to tell you the story of how me, my dad, and my brother Robbie came to love coffee. 2 years ago, we had our first cups of coffee, and from there we started drinking it regularly. We liked going to cafes and even did a little brewing at home ourselves. But we noticed whether it was those beans we bought from the store that we were brewing with or whatever is used in drinks at cafes, that always had a very similar sort of just plain coffee flavor. And being new to it, we were curious if that was all coffee sort of was, if it only had one sort of character to it. And we had a hunch that that wasn't the case, especially because at the time we were doing things like brewing cider and curing our own meat and baking bread, and loved seeing how these things would be different once you did them yourself from their sort of kind of commercial counterparts. And we love seeing the different flavors and sort of whole experience you'd get after making these foods yourself. So we wanted to see if we could take that same approach with coffee and not only drink it, but craft it ourselves. We saw this being a possibility after our good friend Mike showed us that you can just order green coffee online. We didn't realize this. And not only can you get green coffee online, but you can actually get coffee that's known as single origin coffee. And that coffee can be traced all the way back to the place where it was grown. And this intrigued us because almost all the coffee around us was a blend of several different places. So we bought some of this coffee. Once it came, we'd already seen that you can just roast coffee at home in a pan. We opted for a saucepan. That was my dad's idea, and it worked really well. We did our first roasts, and after drinking those first roasts, we realized that coffee was basically redefined for us. It was this completely new thing now. And that was because each coffee had its own completely unique character, and we were tasting flavors in these coffees that we'd never had before. We had a coffee from Yemen, and we just bought that kind of happenstance. We didn't really know much about Yemeni coffee. It turns out now it's really some of our favorite. But at the time we were so surprised with how it tasted woody and kind of like spiced, like it had baking spices in it or something like that. And the coffee we got from Ethiopia was super fruity and almost tasted, like it had berries in it. So we loved what we experienced just from these first roasts, and we knew from there this was sort of the world of coffee we wanted to live in. So naturally we made a couple more orders and realized that there are a lot of places to try coffee from that we'd never heard of. And as those coffees would come and we'd roast them, we were just continually surprised with how different these flavors were from everyday coffee. The more we started doing this, the more we started trying to hone in how we roast and see if we can sort of bring out the fullest character of each of these coffees to really let those flavors shine. Now, this only happened a couple months ago, and this summer, this whole sort of coffee adventure has kind of taken a whole new turn and kind of leveled up, where we actually bought a couple of manual coffee roasters, and we've been selling our favorite coffee we roast at the local farmers market. Now, this is the farthest a food adventure has taken us, but we've seen this is one we want to take all the way and sort of see if we can even make a living off of it. And we really want to share this new world of coffee we've found with everyone.